What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dueling Aces for March 20th, 2023.
The only thing good about Mondays is this show.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's about, I was going to say, technically, I guess I have to agree with you. Today's kind of been a weird day, too. So it's always fun to turn around and get together, sit around and BS about nothing but sports.
Always. You can't be starting that.
No, you can't start that not right out the get-go.
Oh, dude, so
NASCAR kept you that kept you up that much, huh?
No, so the boy child has been sick for the last week.
It's going around.
And now the crud has creeped. I have gotten it, and along with working in the mechanic industry that deals with lawn care and people that have had mowers in their garage and barn all winter and having to blow all the dust and the grass out is just compounding everything. So I feel like crap.
Ew.
I feel you.
Don't want none, don't need none. Mother Nature is going to be rearing her ugly head here real soon now that it's officially spring. Oh, yeah. That's going to be bleh. Allergy season galore.
Oh, I already have it.
Brutal.
Why do you have NBA playoff race up there in the list of things we're going to talk about? As if anybody on this show really gives two shits about the NBA. Suds isn't here. We don't need to talk about it.
Actually, yeah, I do, because I have a couple of things I'm going to hit on. So,
well, get it out of the way now. I'm going to be Zolt and just say, hurry up and get it out of the way. So
we'll turn around. We'll send you to bed early. Actually, I want to start with the NASCAR because, again, I missed out since I was at the Boog's bowling tournament and traveling back home. So I totally missed the race. And
boy, you missed an eventful week. If only we could have done this show Tuesday afternoon.
Holy
shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard about the interesting penalties and whatnot. And I was like, damn, there's a lot going on.
I think they're going to win the appeal. And for anybody who doesn't know, NASCAR, it used to be that NASCAR teams built their own cars. They built the bodies, they built everything. With the next gen car, they went to single source suppliers. There's one company that makes the body. There's another company that makes the hood. There's another company that makes the chassis. And you have to order it's a kit car. You have to order it from them. The parts show up. You put it together. They want all the Fords to look like Fords, all the Chevys to look like Chevys, all the Toyotas to look like Toyotas. They're trying to, one of the things that manufacturers wanted was the cars to get back to looking more like the cars that are on the showroom floor. I can understand that from a manufacturer's point of view. With the safety changes that NASCAR made in the offseason, it changed a lot of pieces on the car. So the manufacturers had to redesign all the manufacturers got a new front end.
Oh, boo. Yeah, you got that, Bruiser.
Why? Why are you rubbing it in?
Because I can.
Because Bubba Wallace wrecked on lap 5?
And no, that's not the important part. The important part is I actually remembered to check my lineup.
Oh, well, that is the important part. That is. He wrecked on lap 5 and ruined my day.
I had him in. Trust me, I had him in.
Well, I loved it when I actually was on Facebook for a little bit and it says, oh, look at that, DoorDash right into the wall. And it was him hitting the wall. I'm like, seriously?
It was lap 5.
Wow.
He got loose all on his own and spun and hit the inside wall and broke a toe link and then lost 5 laps and it was done.
I'm just pissing myself that I finally decided to watch like the last 30 laps because I kept checking it and seeing like, what the fuck is this? Or excuse me, what the hell is this 6 car doing in the front? Because I'm not used to seeing that. And I'm like,
this year.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, this is the worst place to be with 5 to go and the train's coming.
He let Joey get to his right rear is what happened.
Yep. And I was so hoping to God he would have just booted Joey to get back in him for Daytona years ago, but
I wanted it. I was calling for it. Didn't happen. But so they changed the front end on the cars. All the manufacturers did. So it's a design process. You have to go to the manufacturer. The manufacturer designs the hood piece and all that stuff. It goes to NASCAR. NASCAR approves it or disapproves it. It's a back and forth. One of the main contentions was these louvers that are on the hood that help cool the engine, help cool the air, get air down in there. Chevy has been having a particular problem with them from the single source supplier because they apparently aren't anywhere near the spec of the CAD drawing that was approved by NASCAR and the manufacturer and the teams. So at Phoenix 2 weeks ago, after practice, NASCAR came over to the Hendricks cars, all 4 of them, and confiscated both sets of louvers that were on the hood of all 4 cars, went over to Justin Haley's car with Colleague Racing, took one of his louvers, and then laid out that hefty penalty on Tuesday. Now people were screaming Tuesday, see, Chase Elliott didn't get the penalty. He's NASCAR's golden boy. And I said, he hasn't raced in 3 weeks. He broke his leg. He broke his leg right before Vegas. He did. You can't go back and say, well, we think you had those louvers on at Daytona or Fontana. They passed inspection. So that penalty that they handed out, and you can ask Adam this, being a Keselowski fan. That penalty is a death sentence.
last year it was for Brad.
That I don't care. Yeah, are the Hendrick boys going to win a race this year? Probably.
Well, shit, what 3 of them already did, didn't they? Chase
No.
and
Bowman's won twice.
I thought Chase won one.
Chase did not. Bowman's won twice. But let's say they don't. Let's say none of those 3 win a race this year. Chase, Larson, or Bowman. Now you have 3 of the top cars in the sport not making the playoffs.
Darn.
I mean, and I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But Corey LaJoie is sitting there in 14th in points right now. He could theoretically, if he has several good finishes, point his way in to the playoffs.
Right. I think he finished top 5 yesterday, didn't he?
He finished 4th. Yeah, he gave Joey that good shove, and if Bell had been on his back bumper, so let's just say this. If Joey made that pass with 1 to go instead of on the last lap, Corey LaJoie wins that race and not Joey Logano because Bell was right there. And Bell and Reddick were about ready to give Corey LaJoie a shove. Like, Corey needed another, half a lap, and he was going to clear him. But we got to go back to Atlanta in the summer, and we're coming up to Talladega in 3 weeks. 4 weeks.
Already?
We got Coda, Richmond, or Coda, Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond.
There's a Bristol dirt race.
Yeah, it's Easter.
I wish they just get rid of the dirt and go back to the regular Bristol.
You hate it. You can hate on it all you want. It's actually a good race. I like watching it. It's fun to watch. It's a fun race to watch because they actually it takes it out of the element and it kind of takes it back to the way it used to be. Half-mile dirt track in middle of nowhere. Granted, this half-mile dirt track seats 160,000 people, but those penalties, man, those penalties were rough.
They were hefty in fines too, weren't they?
Oh, let me pull them up. Let's see.
I thought the last 30 laps was good.
The whole race was okay. I didn't mind Atlanta. So Bowman, Larson, and Byron each got docked 100 points and 10 playoff points. The crew chiefs for all 4 cars were suspended for 4 races. NASCAR also fined each of the crew chiefs $100,000. And then NASCAR penalized each of the 400 cars 100 owner points and 10 playoff points. That's a hefty fine. And Colin got hit with the same penalty. That's a hefty fine. But that's not even the one I want to talk about, because the one that gets me is the Denny Hamlin penalty.
That's the one that he admitted on the podcast the day after, right?
Right. But here's the thing. Off the top of my head, I can name 5 instances because it's a level 2 penalty they modified apart from a single source supplier, Chipper. Chipper's question was, why did they even penalize them when they weren't used in competition? Because they were used in practice. NASCAR let them go out and practice with them. But the Hamlin penalty speaks to a bigger issue. Bristol Night Race 2021, Chase Elliott gets his tire cut down by Kevin Harvick, rubbing him on the back stretch, hard racing. He goes into the pit, repairs it, is down a lap, comes back out, waits for Harvick, and over the radio says, "Where's the 5 at? I'm going to help him." And then continues to stand in front of Harvick and slow Harvick down until Larson passes him and then wins the race. That is deliberately altering the outcome of a race. No penalty. Harvick, Martinsville, 2020. Spins Kyle Busch. At the end of the race, attempting to pass Kyle Busch so that Kevin Harvick can get into the championship 4 and knock Denny Hamlin out. Deliberately attempting to alter the results of a race. No penalty. Now, I suppose you could say the penalty was that he didn't make it into the final 4. However, if you're going by the spirit of the rule, he attempted to alter the outcome of a race. That same race, that exact same race, team officials from Joe Gibbs Racing came over Eric Jones' radio when he was still racing for Joe Gibbs. And there were several moments where Eric Jones could have passed Denny Hamlin and knocked Denny Hamlin out of the championship 4. And team officials from Joe Gibbs Racing said, "Don't pass him. Do not pass him. Stay behind him."
Hammer down, shake and bake. See ya.
Last year, Joey Logano put William Byron in the wall, and in the post-race interview said, "You're not going to race me like he did and not pay a price for it." William Byron was in the lead at the time, and Joey Logano dumped him on the wall in the last turn and went on to win the race. No penalty. So, how can you come back? They did, Chipper. This isn't a new penalty. They penalized Brad Keselowski last year for it. They penalized Front Row Motorsports for it last year. It's not new. This isn't new. Like 3 teams have already been hit with this penalty. But back to the point at hand. How can you, as a sports organization, come back a day later and penalize somebody 50 grand and 25 points and say it was for intentional wrecking and deliberately altering the end of the race? All Hamlin said was, I was having a bad day. I made sure he was coming with me.
Well,
And even so you didn't see fit to call him to the hauler after the race. Neither driver. You didn't penalize him post-race for it. Everything was hunky-dory until he went on his podcast and said something, and now you're going to penalize him for it. To me, kind of tramples all over the First Amendment, don't you think?
mm-hmm.
Granted, this is a private organization. It's not the government. I understand that the First Amendment protects you from the government and not private organizations. However, the spirit of the thing is there, right? I'm not wrong in saying that.
No.
Chippers. Brad's penalty was found after the fact at R&D.
R&D said they took the car back. They took the car back to R&D and found the
Research and development.
the penalty.
And that screwed him last year. I mean, I like to see that he's coming out strong already this year, though.
I like that he's coming out strong.
He booed himself.
Whoa. I'm like, I never touched it.
That was not me.
Nope. He totally just went.
That was
light
weird.
Disconnected. Poof. He was gone.
You lean too close, they hit the wrong button.
It was weird. My whole screen just like reloaded.
Continue on with your point.
The Denny Hamlin penalty is especially egregious to me and a large overstep, in my opinion, because you are penalizing a driver for an opinion and a thought as opposed to actual on-track actions. It would be like penalizing Myles Garrett after the game, suspending him for half a game for going, we thought you were going to rough up Patrick Mahomes. You know, you said some pretty mean things. So we're going to sit you down for half a game.
I'm kind of curious to see like if somebody else comes out and does it and they don't do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is it one you can do it for one but not the other?
You've got it. You have to. You're okay. You need to have a arbiter board for the appeals, because the appeals are heard by NASCAR. You need to have an independent panel hear the appeals.
Well, I guess Danny should be thankful it ain't Roger Goodell.
No, this is true, but it's still it's still people who are employed by NASCAR who hear the appeals.
Right.
Well played. Well played.
Because Denny would get a 12 race suspension for taking the one car out.
Yeah.
It depends what team he was on.
That is true. If it's Cleveland, you're screwed. He's not even here, Burge. He must be drunk already.
Or he's still drunk from St. Patty's Day.
Could be that too.
I fully intended to go to the bar with a couple of buddies on St. Patty's Day. Down the road from my house, a little hole in the wall bar. Just hang out at the dive bars. You just go have a good time and nobody gets rowdy, all that stuff.
Right.
I was gonna go hang out with a couple of buddies of mine at the bar for an hour or two. I did not make it past 8:00. I got in the shower, sat down in my bed to get dressed, woke up at 9 a.m. the next morning.
Holy crap.
I was pissed because I had him in my fantasy lineup.
That's what he's pissed about.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss that. Like having to check the race at a certain point to see if I got to swap guys in the garage or not. I do not miss that one bit.
Right.
I wish it would auto swap for you.
I mean, for mine, it was fairly easy. I just remembered to check it early, and it was late enough after lap 5 where I was like, well, this is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The fact that it locks after stage 2 is what sucks because Bubba didn't get his points back until stage 3, and I had Harvick in my lineup. And Harvick got me all of 3 points.
Ouch.
After the incident with Chastain, which I don't think is anybody's fault either. It's just a product of that racing. If you look at the replay, you didn't get anywhere close to him.
It was a good race, though. I'm glad I tuned in and watched it. I just wish Brad would have won, but hey, he was there.
He was. Listen, they have been there at all 5 so far. So we'll see.
Oh, boo.
I didn't put Blaney in my lineup. Here's the thing. I had Logano in my lineup to start right before I hit finalize. And I was like, man, I don't see it. I know he qualified first, but Joey never really runs good at Atlanta. Joey never runs good at Atlanta.
She's got all kinds of guys dropping out today.
Remember, Zolt has administrative slide in, slide out. So because I think he's running on daddy duty. Yep. he's pulled a Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
Enough. Oh my God. Hi.
Uh-oh. Somebody wants attention. Chipper said made 159 with Joey winning in the top 5 finish.
It's always a good day.
Yeah, no kidding.
I need to start trying that out. I could probably win the betting on NASCAR.
I am going to do a 4-driver parlay at the Daytona race in the summer this year to see if I hit on it.
Do Talladega. Do a test run at Talladega.
Talladega is tricky.
Because it's that long stretch to back to the finish line.
Yes, Talladega is tricky. I want to do it at Daytona because of how many people wad up cars to see if I can get
Whoever survives.
if I can get Joey Gase and Cody Ware in the top 10 again.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice.
That'd be the track it would happen at, too.
It did last year. Some dude won $10 million. He had who was it? BJ McLeod, BJ McLeod, Cody Ware. It was a 4-driver parlay that he went and he bet. I want to say he bet like $5 and won $10 million.
Exactly that, Jay.
What's up, Mr. Jeremy? How are you?
We need the bar back.
I was going to say, people have been stealing his pickle pizza idea.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere now.
He must be at work, bored. Isn't it, though? It changes colors.
I was going to say, it still looks like a cartoon microphone. It's still pretty cool.
Gail's like, like I said the other day, is that Gail said that it looks like you put it, like you somehow edited it to where it looks like I have a microphone. Oh, he's actually at home.
Yeah, I know because it does look cartoonish. That's what I thought. It is pretty cool. It's like, oh yeah, you just got an overlay right on it.
This is just the beginning one. I'm gonna get another. I want to get one like like a Howard Stern one, or do like you remember the old when Mr. Kennedy had the one that would drop from the ceiling?
Yep.
It's just a sports show. We're talking sports. We were just talking NASCAR. We occasionally talk hockey too. Dude would be okay with that because he likes hockey.
Yeah, well, and I had to miss last week, and I specifically even had NHL stuff for last week too, because one team has already literally gotten themselves into the playoffs, and that was
We already
Boston.
talked about that last week. We talked about the Bruins. We talked about how bad the Pens are and how bad the Lightning are this year too.
Oh, how about the Blue Jackets?
Or the Avalanche.
They're already eliminated. The Avalanche is in third. What are you talking about?
They're not playing as good as they made it out to, like, they're defending champions.
All they got to do is be in it. They don't have to be on king of the mountain. All you got to do is just be there, just like basketball. All you got to do is just be there. But
he said, "Yeah."
He said, "Yep, never mind."
Yep. Yeah, Jeremy tried to go. He had tickets because he's a season ticket holder to that fiasco that was the lumber or the what is it, the monsters at the stadium, and it had that issue with and the delay and whatnot. Chipper, don't you start.
No. Really? Really? That good, huh?
They're still in they'll make the playoffs, but they won't be like a good seed like they normally are.
Where are they? I know I had it up here. Darn it. I've got so many of my tabs open for that too.
It looks like Jeremy's batting 1,000 this year. He said the Blue Jackets were postponed too. That we were going to go to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Buffalo. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Where is get into the conference? That is still sick. 111 points. Like, what the heck?
I mean, Tampa Bay's still 6th.
April 14th, I'm off, so we're good. Yeah, I was going to say they're doing all right.
What is it? The top 8 make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm. Colorado's sitting right off in 5, and conference-wise, that's not bad. Like I said, all they had to do is just be there. They ain't got to be
Seattle already in 7th.
I know that's a nice going from worst to almost first type scenario. I mean, Vegas literally just dropped in and was like, "Hey, guess what? We're here."
They're always. I mean, they just had that one down here. I mean, hell, their first year they went to the championship, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see the expansion team. It's like usually the expansion teams take 6-7 years.
Bad thing about it is that team sitting in 4th. Nobody seems to even it's Minnesota. You don't ever hear about them.
Nope. It is a big surprise to me.
Where's Phoenix at? They still have a hockey team?
Um,
Or Arizona, is it?
I thought I was gonna say, didn't they name change?
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, there
13.
they are, Arizona at 13.
It just doesn't make any sense for them to have I don't see Arizona being a hockey town or hockey state. You know what I mean?
No, you don't. You literally don't. And the one underneath right here, after the movies have been gone, that's it.
Oh God, yeah. The Half Hill, the wide world of Half Hill sports.
Now this is the big surprise. Chicago and San Jose sitting down here. That
The
is
basement.
big time shocker. Because those are definitely two teams that are usually up.
San Jose hasn't been good in a number of years.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's, just like Anaheim, we just said, once the movies have been made off, that's it.
Yeah, see Major League Rugby. But like the thing that gets me is like we talked about it last week is Edmonton with Connor McDavid, the career year that he's the hell of a year he's having, and they're still sitting in sixth.
Listen, he's lucky Edmonton's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you can put you can have one fantastic player like superstar on the team, but if you don't have some key pieces around him,
right?
It's you are where you are.
What do we got? Was it the Dreisaitl or something? I just like to hear that dude's name. The dude's name is funny.
I don't know.
The Kings are underrated. You don't even hear much about them, and they're sitting at 2.
Hockey isn't basketball. Nope, hockey is not basketball. We'll get there.
It is not basketball. Nobody cares about basketball.
I mean, like Chipper said, though, the Stanley Cup playoffs are some of the most exciting playoff games you'll ever see.
Yeah, that's true. I missed that. Chipper, quit cussing on the show, man. Well, the NBA's got that extra 4-team playoff thing now.
Yeah, but it's like he said, Bruiser said, nobody cares about basketball, and especially like if LeBron's not in the playoffs, nobody cares.
Oh, the Lakers are in the 10 spot right now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in the 10 spot right now.
Well, that's what we agree with you, Jay. We're just saying that you got to have a good cast around that good player to make some noise.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and hockey still got a little while to sort out their lineup, and just so we can knock it out of the way, Bruiser can take a bathroom break. If he
I had to let the dog out. Oh God!
So that is currently the basketball scenario if it ended.
Jay brings up a good point. Sell the NBA to China and we won't have to worry about it.
Wow. Ouch.
I mean, he does, and also, I mean, right now this year, I think that is true. The World Baseball Classic is more popular.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say Trey Turner's killing it right now.
That grand slam the other night, good Lord.
That's the funny thing about baseball. It's like, okay, yeah, you can be down by a couple, but
I know the biggest complaint is how he said that about meaningless is because of Diaz going down for the year.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I've came across a couple other guys. Friend Sam, he has a show that airs on Tuesdays and Fridays. and Sunday, and they even discussed that and said the same thing and noted, but it can happen because all these other guys are playing in spring training games.
Right.
That's it. It literally any of these injuries can happen at any of the spring training games that they're doing with split squads. These guys can get hurt at any point in time.
Right.
They can walk out their front door and twist their ankle going down the stairs. It's gonna, accidents are gonna happen no matter what.
But the fact is what? Diaz got hurt celebrating
Yeah.
and tore his ACL or something. Yeah, see, it wasn't even technically playing when it happened.
Yeah.
Now, where do they all play these games at? Are they all in Miami?
No, because the Grand Slam was in St. Louis.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Let me.
I thought
The teams are divided into 4 pools, which played at Chase Field in Arizona, the Lone Depot Park in Miami, the Intercontinental Baseball Stadium, it says, is in Taiwan, and Tokyo Dome in Tokyo. So maybe it was in the Budweiser sign, might have been at Chase Field in Arizona that I saw it. So it looks like Arizona, Miami. Well, the other one says Taiwan and Tokyo Dome in Tokyo. Yep. Jeremy's.
So he's on it.
Yep.
Because I knew that. I knew the one game, the stadium looked familiar.
I was going to say Japan and Mexico started at 7. And I was like, okay, update. Where's the update? Come on.
Well, as I shared in the chat last week, what was it, the 22-2 game?
Ouch.
The Royal, that's a beatdown.
Is I'm a 5 up 3-0 over Japan.
What's the score?
It's 3-0 Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, because you cut out. It was
Over
like
Japan.
something nothing. So the U.S. is still in it, right?
Yeah, the U.S. will play the winner of this game in the finals.
Oh, okay.
The U.S. is in the finals. Yep, the U.S. is in the finals. So they will play the winner of this one.
Who's on first?
What's on second?
What's his name's on third? Still love that bit. Anytime I see it pop up on TikTok or whatever, I watch it every time.
I don't know.
Just the way-
Third base.
Just the way he played it off so well. Like, no, he's on third. And then the other guy, like, Abbott or whatever, just getting all aggravated with it. Just the way it was very well done.
Yeah, who's pitching tomorrow? No.
Who's pitching today?
Who's pitching today? That's the catcher.
You could so redo that and make it just as it'll never be the same as the original, though.
No. Yeah. I don't know who's on. That's correct. Hey, Scotty.
I don't know.
Third base.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh man. Bob's on.
Yeah, that's Jeremy.
Bob's on second. Oh my gosh.
All this damn crud going around, everybody's catching.
It's awful.
Well,
We all sound like we've been hitting the pure pounds of Colombian,
Yeah.
we're going to the
Dude, I am so glad I did not do a bracket this
Me
year.
too.
I wanted to do one as a show just to see how screwed we'd be. Nobody would.
We just didn't have. If we'd have thought of it ahead of time, we'll have to do it next year.
I said it 2 weeks ago.
I thought it was a week ago.
No, I said it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought when I listened to the playback, it's like, yeah, you technically could have done it last Monday. Yeah,
I said it 2 weeks ago, thinking it was the start of the tournament, and that was going into the conference championships.
Oh shit! Texas is still in it.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't jinx them.
Miami's in it. Okay.
It's Xavier versus Texas, Miami and Houston, Alabama, San Diego State, and
So we're seriously already in the Elite Eight.
and Princeton. Who told Princeton they could come to the party?
Princeton said they could come to the party.
It's a 15 seed.
Yep, a 15 seed.
So we're in the Sweet 16, right?
Yep.
A god awful Spartan.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and Scott will say it proudly as an MSU fan, loud and proud. Loud and proud. I mean, hey, you bumped off Marquette.
Gonzaga and UCLA would be a hell of a game.
And Arkansas beat
Kansas.
Kansas. I'm like, wait a minute. Kansas, I think, thought they could phone it in. It's like, no big deal. Yeah, okay. But that big one right up there, Purdue got waxed.
Well, game one, wasn't it?
I don't. It's like Fair Dickinson. Never ever heard of this school at all. Have no idea where they're.
Oh, that's no different than Oral Roberts.
Well, we've heard of them a little bit.
Yeah, I guess you got to.
I've never heard of this school ever. And for them to almost pull it off twice, it was like, hey, wait a minute. So, yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting.
Oh, the dishes. Oh.
It's going to be very interesting. Like, somebody's got to do dishes.
Oh, from cooking yesterday.
Joe Dixon the third.
No,
Okay. Not sure where he's going with that.
He'll let us know.
I will be back. I need to restart my computer.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say he froze there.
Damn, internet's going out everywhere.
Right?
Yeah, I see. I was waiting for it, Jeremy. We were just talking. He's a big Hurricanes fan.
Like, that's not my house.
And that's definitely mine.
It was at mine earlier. That was at mine earlier. That train was totally up mine earlier.
Just stay on the tracks, please. I'm not trying to be evacuated.
Right.
Oh, he's a fella he works with.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you say, you don't say work. It's work, the way he spelled it in there. But that's always been the thing with him. If you say work, he'll correct you. Just like there's the wash and wash.
Right. I was going to say, I'm waiting for Zolt to get back. Especially because he's got all the numbers for all these other teams for when we run through that NFL free agency.
Right.
It's like, where did he go?
Daniel's holding him up.
Yeah, big time. Well, I'm gonna get it started anyway. We can go through this bad boy. So, rolling through. Kyle Allen.
Any relation to Josh?
I don't know. It'd be very interesting. It's like, hey, oh yeah, it's a cousin. Sure it is. And of course, what's not listed on here.
Scott, calm your tatas. We'll get there.
He's like, damn, my stream is just way off. And now he just seen the home run.
That's that Hulu Live.
No kid. I was going to say, good Lord, that was 15 minutes ago.
He probably needs to look down at the bottom and it says jump to live. And he's probably gonna be like, oh, I could have done that a while ago. I mean, I'll tell you what, it seems like the majority is like, it's going to be one of those things where, like, it's the Dolphins that made a lot of moves. It's like the same teams are making the most moves. Like, I would say the top 3 teams for making moves would be what? Miami, Chicago, and Houston. Or Detroit, even because of the names they got.
Well, even Cleveland went and grabbed 6 guys. Cleveland even went after 6 guys.
All defensive, too.
Yeah. The latest one that's not on this list, unless try to he said it is.
It is C. I got your back, Jay. Yeah, Damian Harris was already on there.
Scott says still need a backup QB. Don't worry, there's plenty.
I saw something today and I'm pissed because I lost it. You know how, like, when you get that notification at the top of your phone, you try to click on it and it clears it instead of clicking on it? And it said something about something with Detroit and Lamar Jackson, and I can't find it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, because I was going to share it in the chat and be like, what do you guys think about talking about this on the show? And then I could never find it again.
Yeah, Jeremy, not since almost like the original free agency when it first started.
Yeah, but there's like a guy on TikTok said, though, he's the one that he's one of those, he's like the male Annie Agar, but he does he does NFL too. And like he said, oh, Raiders or the Saints, you signed Derek Carr. You went from mediocre to more mediocre for Winston the Carr. I'm like, he's got a point. You're like, and all these moves these teams are making. He goes, why did you just keep the guy you had then?
I saw that. I saw that too. I saw that same one, and I thought that was very interesting the way he kind of played that up.
Because he wasn't wrong, though. I mean, granted, Derek Carr is a little bit better than Winston, but I wouldn't say by much.
I was going to say, I don't know. I think it's much better, personally. I think it's much better. The one that I wasn't real sure of was the Jimmy G to Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, that's a
Jimmy G's actually been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a big upgrade. A couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big difference. I'm sorry. I think that's a huge upgrade for Vegas. A very big upgrade. And when they asked him, they said, what's you got to love press conferences because reporters become, 12-year-old, school reporters,
right?
Asking the stupid, ignorant questions of, well, what do you think it's going to be like? It's like, hey, morons. They've already had a relationship together in New England. They know
common sense.
They know the strengths. They know the weaknesses. He knows the basic schemes for the offensive playbook. It's not going to take long for any adjusted vocabulary. and it's just like walking in and going, yep, okay, we got this.
I'm trying to think. Jeremy asked if they got Jimmy cheaper than they would have Derek. I think their contracts are about the same, wasn't it?
For who?
For Jimmy G and then Derek Carr when they signed with her. Well,
Our stats man isn't here to answer that.
I do know that Derek Carr got what, $100 million guaranteed.
Hang on.
I think it was.
Carr's 150 over 4 years. Wait a minute. Yeah. Also, no trade clause. Wait a minute. Nope. The new Derek Carr contract, genius. Give me the new one. There we go. A base salary of 1.5, signing bonus of here. Your salary is only 1.5 million, but your signing bonus is 28.5 mil.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, ouch. So it's 4 years, 150 mil.
I want to say Jimmy's was only 3 years, wasn't it?
Jimmy's is a 3 up to 72.5 mil. So
they got him cheaper.
They did get him cheaper.
And that's exactly it. It's all about who you've been with before.
And excuse me. The sadder part is, you know, you signed wide receiver who also knows your scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So that with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs
and Jacoby Myers. The one that surprised the hell out of me, though, was why would you trade Waller?
That was the question that I wanted to ask too. Why do you need to trade? Why do you need to trade Waller unless you notice that he's going to be injury prone,
which he has been.
So what do you do? I mean, I haven't seen that was the other.
O.J. Howard supposedly signing or talking to them right now, the Raiders.
Where is it?
I mean, he isn't wrong. I mean,
he did. O.J. Howard right here signed with them. But O.J. Howard is not Waller.
Oh, no. And then, all right, you ready for this? I saw another thing where I think tomorrow Austin Hooper is visiting the Raiders. Yeah. So yeah.
And hey, there's Sam. How are you, Sam? Yep. He's literally just as you were saying it.
But he also made a good point too that they are quickly becoming the Las Vegas Patriots.
Well, and remember, when Parcells went from New York to the Patriots, the same thing kind of happened.
True.
You know, nobody turned around and I was going to say some of these younger kids nowadays don't understand and don't remember that. We old farts do. Yes, we are. We're hanging in there, Sam.
Yeah, surviving.
Sam is the primary host on 609. You can check him out tomorrow night.
Gotcha.
That Scott said that didn't work for the Lions.
I'll tell you what, I'm highly
impressed. It wasn't Bill Parcells, Scott.
I'm highly impressed with what they've done so far, though. You got some secondary help that you needed.
Again, it's like Zolty. I'm head scratching David Montgomery. I don't get it.
Right.
I really don't.
You could have just kept Jamal Williams and he was a lot better.
Exactly. I mean, I know that Williams wanted a little bit more, so that's probably why, but I mean,
I think at this point, I would take Jamal Williams right now over David Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery hasn't exactly lit it up.
And Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns, did he not, for running backs?
Yes.
And he goes, so what's going to happen with Kamara down in New Orleans then? I mean, I know he's still there, but like just to give him a break.
Remember, somebody's getting suspended.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Throw the book at him, Goodell. It's only fair.
Somebody's getting suspended. So, yeah, that's why he. It's like, yep, okay, we know who the running back's going to be. Of course, the one that everybody, the worst kept secret in the world, is the Green Bay Packers have not done much, but we know that there is a move.
Yeah, which, all right, I'm sorry, but that's a little ridiculous. You give these guys a list as long as a CVS receipt, and you're talking about demands for you to get traded to them. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I saw, I'm stealing this, from a meme I saw that. So you weren't happy with what you had in Green Bay, but you're turning around and telling the Jets to bring you everybody from Green Bay that you were unhappy with because you had no weapons to throw to. I mean, yeah, Swift's always hurt too. Believe me, I know fantasy-wise. Had him a couple years.
Well, you got to make sure you get the right set of cleats, especially for that artificial turf. It is not pretty.
Well, they're supposed to be trying to tinker with that so they don't have that issue anymore.
Right. I know that. I can't wait for that.
No offense, but I like that Jets green, but seeing Aaron Rodgers in it, that's ugly.
Yeah, but you know who loves it? Every Detroit Lions fan.
Oh, yeah, obviously, because he's out of their division.
Yeah. Her Jordy Nelson's on the radar.
Sterling Sharp, too? How far back we want to go?
Well, speaking of Joe Dixon the third, who got mentioned earlier.
There it is.
I agree.
Well, I think I saw it was funny that somebody, they like, it was one of those pages that'll pop up on your Facebook about, you can follow or something. And it was the Bears fan saying that, or Bears players talking about that if Rodgers leaves, they run the North. It's like, hold up here. You still have Detroit.
I was going to say, and right now, Detroit in the Vegas odds, they are favored to take the division.
Oh, good. Money Man's here. Let's go. Let's talk we need some numbers, sir.
Oh, what numbers are we looking for?
We managed to scrape them together for contracts. We did our best, but kind of tough when we know our numbers man was.
Hey,
would have been a lot faster with you.
All I'm saying is, if the Bears are going to run the North, who are they running it with? I mean, who's running the ball? I mean, Fields, because his life depends on it. But other than that,
who'd they sign as? I thought they signed a running back. I don't remember.
Did they?
Hang on.
I mean, they got Khalil Herbert, but
hang on. Here you go. There's a small laundry list of them, actually.
I mean, we've seen that before on teams, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. I knew they signed one.
They signed Foreman.
But I was surprised to see Tanyan leave.
Well, Tanya was UFA too.
Right.
So, I mean, and I'm sorry, usually you see that nice flaming dumpster with the Green Bay symbol now on it, and it was green. So guess what? Everybody's bailing. If they can bail, they bailed.
I tell you what, that new GM in Chicago is making a name for himself his first year, ain't he?
I mean,
well, think about this. Tanyan and Komet.
Yeah.
Bookends. Okay. I'm paying attention.
The linebackers are good too.
Excuse me. Hang on for a second. What did Tanyan do this year?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's really look at Aaron Rodgers and the mental case. I watched the press conference. I watched that press conference live when he was on Pat McAfee's show. That dude looked like he was totally drunk. I am not going to lie. He looked drunk.
Is it okay? Hold on. We always say that Rodgers looks like Nicolas Cage. Why is it the later he gets in his career, he looks more and more like Nick Cage from Raising Arizona? Just a mess.
I'm looking at this gigantic list. It's a lot of players. I see one offensive lineman.
That Nate Davis.
Yeah.
Do they not realize what their biggest drawback was last year?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields running for his life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a quarterback that doesn't know how to throw a ball. I'm saying he doesn't have a second and a half to throw the ball.
Scott says not Raising Arizona, who was leaving Las Vegas.
No, I'm just thinking of Raising Arizona, how he looks so rough.
But leaving Las Vegas.
Similarities to both of them.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Sam says, coming from the Eagles fan, the Bears got a good one in TJ Edwards.
I mean, you know what? They paid for him too.
Right.
What was it?
Yeah.
The one from Buffalo? Is that Tremaine? Is the one they got from Buffalo? Okay, I knew there was a Buffalo guy they got.
Yeah, that 4 years, 72.
Tell you what, the biggest signing that the Bears got, the very bottom guy there, that long snapper. Look out now.
Wow, that is cold.
Well, you might as well just scroll on down to the next
Yeah,
team.
I'll roll it right there. I'll roll it there because they also got a long snapper down there at the bottom of it.
It's the in move, bro. Everybody's doing it.
And the kicker.
Hang on, scroll back up to the Chicago Bears for just a second. Just a second.
Dave's not done picking.
Okay. No. I'm sorry, but would you rather have your long snapper by the name of Patrick Scales or the one that the Lions got, Jake McQuaid?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, man. Yeah.
Good point.
The Bears did get in my opinion, a pretty decent backup quarterback in PJ Walker.
They got two Panthers. They stole two guys from the Panthers. See, I didn't know about the Walker one.
Yeah, because I thought PJ was still there too, and when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh!"
I would still, as a Panthers fan, rather have PJ than Andy Dalton. Just saying.
Yeah, I just like, yikes! What is your team going to do this year, Adam? It is not looking pretty at all.
If they're smart, I think they're leaning towards Bryce Young, but they'll go Stroud. Which means. So whatever I say, they're going to do the opposite.
As the guy that is the mock draft guy, so far I've seen, of the ones that I've done, 2 Bryce Young and 1 CJ Stroud. So,
I like the odds.
We're in the ballpark.
I won't be confident enough until you tell me it's a lock.
And you're going to be confident then?
No, probably not, because I learned my lesson with Indy.
Well done, Clint. Well done.
Well,
yeah, because I made the comment that whoever the Panthers draft, I'd get their jersey, and I don't care about the whole. He's on my team now. He still went to that school down in the South, and I refuse to wear a jersey of any player that they have.
That's good. Hold up. We're not just skipping the Lions. Hang on.
I was going to say, Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen.
There's some interesting names there. I question how much Thielen has left, but I mean that's kind of what he's going there for, is to show what he's got left.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst is a hell of a pickup.
It is. Just don't know who's getting him the ball.
Hopefully not that guy at the top.
Sam can attest to Miles Sanders. Philly, they had literally a 4-headed monster and almost lost 3 out of the 4. I think 50-50 now. They've got Gainwell and they re-signed Scott.
Yeah.
So but I mean, Miles Sanders isn't CMC, but then again, CMC was 50-50 pending on the injuries.
True.
So, I mean, Miles Sanders a little bit more solid as your lead back.
I got to find out, too. I got to see if they still have that C.J. Henderson as a defensive back for Carolina, because I know they got him in a trade with the Jags a couple of years back, but I don't even know if he's still there.
And yep.
He is still there? Okay. And then I know you still got Jeremy Chin, who could have got Rookie of the Year a couple of years back. So basically, he's another Trent Richardson.
Ooh. Oh, no. Trent Richardson is
I'm talking
somebody.
about division is what I'm saying. Because there's that picture where Trent Richardson's got like a 90-foot hole, and he goes right behind the tackle and gets tackled on the goal line. It's like, dude, how did you not see that hole?
Yeah. Touche. All right, fair enough. But I mean, Richardson was bad.
Yeah. Probably the worst Alabama running back to come out, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's beyond bad.
All right, go back to Detroit for Zolt.
Sorry, I actually, for half a second, I was curious how much space you guys had left under your cap this year and what your cap next year was looking like, because I don't think you're not putting this team together for this year regardless.
Right.
Next year, right now, you're sitting on about 44.5 in cap space. And you've got guys that you can move away from that'll get you some more if you want.
Well, how many, Adam, how many picks did the Panthers have this year?
They had 8, I thought, but I'm not sure where they're at now, considering they traded away the ones for the number 1 pick.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. You get 6. The first overall, round 2, pick 8. Round 3, pick 30. Round 4, you get picks 12 and 30. And round 5, you get pick 10.
Yeah.
So you get 6 picks.
So 2 guys, 2 of that will make the team. Yeah, 2 of those guys might make the team. Well, we know one better.
Well, one better, right?
Yeah.
One better be. That's for sure.
That's if they even stay at 1.
I don't think anybody's going to bother to do what they did to get there.
True.
Now you're saying they're thinking they would go Stroud, but it all depends on. I don't think anybody wants. I mean, I don't think Stroud's definitely going to go 1.
Okay, so here's the thing. We brought this up last week, and I know, George, you weren't here. So
Your chair was there, but you weren't.
Yes, your chair was, filled the screen beautifully. So CJ Stroud technically is where the money is right now for Vegas. I mean, he's got the best odds to be the overall number 1 draft pick. And I think a lot of that comes from Carolina coming out and saying, we're leaning at CJ Stroud, but we're willing to move the pick. And I made the point last week. It's like, you literally just traded up to the number 1 spot, and now you're saying that you're willing to move the pick. That was a message. That was a message directly to the Houston Texans saying, we know you want Stroud. We are telling you we are willing to take him unless you want to move up here and make sure that we don't.
We'll drop the 2 and take the second best Bryce Young.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Who they want anyway. Carolina wants Young. They just want to see if maybe they can pick up an extra pick by moving down one spot.
And Houston's
Houston is
not gonna-
Houston. We don't know
Yeah.
what Houston is going to do from now
Yeah,
to 30
I know.
seconds from now.
Yep, we've beaten that horse. Zolt, you and I have beaten that horse all day and then
I
some.
mean, I no longer have the white hot hatred towards them because they got rid of, the idiot.
Mhm.
But still, there's people there that allowed that entire thing to happen. So
Yeah.
my respect level has maybe gone up a notch, but it's way, way below most
Yeah.
teams.
And I don't think Houston's going to bother either because they just traded Cooks. So
But see, the thing is, with
now what do you, I mean, now you're really looking at, you're going QB or you're definitely going wide receiver at the Browns pick at 12.
well, here's the thing with Texas, or the Texans too, is that I could see them being that we know, because like the result said, we don't know what they're going to do 30 seconds from now. Is that they finally decide to make the trade up to the number one pick, and then they take a Richardson instead of a Stroud or a Young.
Right.
I can see them being that stupid.
They could do just about anything. Here's the thing, though. Houston, yes,
Look at all those moves.
they traded Cooks, but they signed Robert Woods.
Yeah,
They have Nico Collins, who's coming back from injury.
go blue.
Go blue. They literally have 9 guys under contract, 9 wide receivers under contract. I don't know that makes any of them any good,
Right.
but you've got a guy like Robert Woods who's trying to show that he can still hang in this league and stay healthy.
The Schultz edition was great, though.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't hate the moves. Laramie Tunsil is showing what you do when you don't have an agent and you're negotiating your own contract. You make yourself the highest paid guy at your position.
Right. Good for him.
Good for him.
Scott says he thinks the Lions should trade up to get Anderson.
I've seen mock drafts that have him falling to you guys at your spot.
I have not seen one of those since the combine.
Okay.
In fact, I have not seen a mock draft since the combine that didn't have Anderson going at 3 to Arizona.
So that's the team you guys got to worry about snatching him ahead of you.
He's going to take him. I mean, the only way we're getting him is to move there.
Gotcha.
And no, it's not worth it.
Okay, well, here's a prime example, because I know last week we had talked is that you wanted one of those corners. Well, now that you went out and got the Gardner guy, I mean, what do you go now if, say, you don't get Anderson at your pick? He's gone.
Let's go back to let's go to the Detroit list.
Like, which way are you leaning towards that pick now?
Okay, so first and foremost, in the middle of that list, you've got corner Mosley, corner Sutton, safety Gardner Johnson, safety Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell what the biggest deficiency in this defense was and has been for the past 2 decades?
Secondary.
And they addressed the schneid out of it.
Yes, they did. And they did it smartly. I mean, none of these guys are signed longer than 3 years. So, yeah, you want to lock guys in, but at the same time, you're bringing in guys that weren't part of the organization. So let's make sure they fit. Great move. And granted, you still have a guy like Okuda, a former first-round draft pick who has not been good, but he's now 3rd string, 4th, depending on where you're playing Gardner Johnson, because there's a whole thing there. But I think they have definitely taken a weakness and turned it into a strength. So, yeah, it's weird. It's a show me deal, but okay. Philly was willing to let him go because he's a tweener. He's not a prototypical safety, and he's not a prototypical corner. From my understanding is they might actually throw him at nickel, or they'll put him at safety until somebody comes back from injury that I I lost the name. I had it for a second, but it's either he's a tweener and you don't know where to put him, or you can put him at either wherever you need him to be. I get it. I totally get it. It's just, I don't feel this is a draft that you move up in.
Now, here's the thing is, you can't get, I understand because he's gone at or whatever to Arizona. What about that kid from Georgia? I know he's got his off the field stuff.
That's the question. And you know what? That's when you trust the guys doing the interviews.
Yeah.
I don't know what those interviews would have told him. I really don't. What I've seen is I've seen Wilson, the defensive end out of Texas Tech.
Which he's starting to raise up a lot of draft boards.
Yes, he is. He's making a lot of noise. Carter is certainly a possibility. The kid from Clemson, Murphy. And as crazy as it sounds, I've seen them take a quarterback here if one of them falls.
Will Levis.
Or
Richardson.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen both. I don't necessarily know that they go that route. If you guys have seen the quote or not from Dan Campbell, which was, out of 30 plus interviews that they did at the combine, there were 4 guys that they feel fit what they're looking for. As far as I'm assuming,
I think you struck a nerve with Scott.
I know. Look, I just report what I'm seeing.
Hey,
I'm not agreeing with it.
Look at the bright side. They're not talking tight end, right?
No, that's at 18.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, what you've done with the secondary is great. You could pick up another one. I wouldn't use this pick for it. I'd use maybe 18 for another one because those guys are going to get hurt. Those guys always get hurt. So you need as many as you can get. Plus, like I said, a couple of them are on really short deals. So, draft somebody at 18, get them in there, get them some playing time.
You guys wouldn't draft a running back, would you?
Maybe. I don't think so. Now that we've signed Montgomery, I don't think so. But I don't see Swift sticking around past this contract. So, like I said, It's defensive end or defensive tackle.
Okay.
That's where I think they're going at 6.
At this point, you got your choice of the kid from Texas Tech or Georgia, more than likely at your pick.
Yeah, or Clemson, or the kid from Clemson.
Yeah.
It's whoever struck a nerve with them.
The kid from UCLA, I'm taking that's who he's talking about, the quarterback.
Yeah,
if you're going quarterback in later rounds, so you're going to have your pick between him. You can have Stetson Bennett or whatever. And then you can have even Hooker. You can even have what's his name from TCU.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm perfectly okay with that. But like I said, it's early yet. We're still doing a lot of pro days.
Well, how the draft is what, next month?
Yes, I think we're a solid month, if not 5 weeks away.
Yeah, it's always the week of Kelly's birthday, so we are looking at the 27th.
Yep, April 27th through the 29th. So yeah, 5 weeks.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
It will, but we have a lot of BS to get through between now and then. We got a lot of pro days, and we got a lot of not necessarily GMs, but a lot of head scouts or player development guys who are going to be going out there and telling you stuff that you should not be believing.
Yeah. I will say this on my defense, that I was seeing something that they're like a mock draft for the Browns. And I don't know if it was one of their first picks in the second round or second pick, taking Mr. Mozzie Smith out of the University of Michigan. I'm A-okay with that.
He's going to go. But he's definitely going to go.
Hell, we already signed one Michigan guy, Maurice Hurst.
Yeah, that's kind of funny that you saw mock drafts for Cleveland. I didn't know you guys were in this one this year.
Yeah, not in the first round anyway.
Not the first round.
Hey, we're making moves too, buddy, all right?
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Was it that bad?
And I brought it up okay, so he did not do all the drills. He did some of them. Not great. But the thing that concerns the hell out of most people is the fact that the combine was at most 2 weeks before that. I think it was like 9 days, or no, it was about 2 weeks before that. And he had gained 9 pounds.
Ooh.
Like, how does that happen? So either you like went, eliminated like every last bit of water weight you had before you went to the combine, or something was going on in those 2 weeks.
Stress eating.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, his charges have been cleared up, and by cleared up, I meant he reached a plea deal. But I mean, you knew that was going to happen. Just make it go away as fast as you can.
Right.
It will come back to haunt you later, but
he's no jail time, fine, community service, year of probation. So, but yeah, there's questions there. There's questions there, and unless as far as Detroit goes, unless the front office got answers to those questions that they were okay with, I think they bypass them. This does not seem to be an organization that takes a chance on anything like that.
You want guys that'll bite kneecaps.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the coaching staff, like we said, it's all former players that have not been gone that long either. So, they know what the heck they're talking about. They know how to coach these guys up, and it's like, okay, it's starting to show.
And to be honest, that the statement that I reported on when they gave their interviews at the combine, 4 players out of 30 that they interviewed, just 4 came across to them as guys that they want on the team. They're obviously looking for something very specific. And it feels like, from what I'm hearing, the guys they're looking for are guys that live and breathe football. Like, it was very much we're going to give you assignments at the beginning of the interview. We're going to talk to you about a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to throw some plays up on the board, and you tell us based off the assignments that we gave you at the beginning what's going on. And there were guys apparently that literally jumped up out of the chair and was just like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this before. This goes like this, here, boom." And that's my assignment right there. And those are the guys that they're looking for.
Yeah, because you really, all you're missing on the defensive line is just somebody to go with Aiden.
Yeah.
We're light at D tackle. Again, we had a lot of injuries on the D side of the ball, and we always do.
Right.
So you just need we need depth. We need a lot of depth. And obviously, first round, you're looking for playmakers. We could use some of them. Going to the offense, I absolutely love the signing of David Montgomery.
Really?
I do. Last year he got hurt. He was hurt early, like preseason, and it took him a little bit to come on. He's a downhill guy, and let me find his numbers. I'm very happy with his yards per carry. And keep in mind, hang on, where is it? He's 25. He's only 25. He's literally just off of his rookie deal. Yards per carry, solid 4. And that's behind Chicago's offensive line. And if there's one thing I'm going to say about Detroit, we have an O-line. We have a good to damn good offensive line.
Yeah.
We paid for it. And honestly, the signing of Graham Glasgow, that's phenomenal. Even if he turns out to be a backup guard, he is a guy that said, "I want to go back there."
You got people wanting to go to Detroit now.
That's not. Yeah, Montgomery, 3 years, 18 million. So number one, he gets 18 million coming out of his rookie deal for 3 years, and he gets assigned another deal after that when he's 28. So I mean, that works for both teams.
Well, yeah. I mean, because running backs have a shelf life, so
Yeah, I mean, you can make a
I mean,
decision when
6
he's
a year,
28.
right? Six
Yeah.
six per year isn't that bad.
It's got we do need some linebackers. However, this is not a top heavy draft for linebackers.
Mm-mm.
So it would not surprise me if we use a second or a third or multiple for linebackers. I've said it on the show before. I'm not an Alex Anzalone fan. I
Yeah,
just think he's got some deficiencies. He's fine. It's just I think we could get better. But you know what? They resigned him. They paid him some money, so you know we're gonna roll with him. But again, you lose players during the season, so we need depth. We absolutely need depth.
Wrong stinking. Just trying to find our there they are. I was trying to find our favorite group to go check that out. Those are still the free agent inside linebackers at the moment.
I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
Oh, really? It didn't go up. Hang on. I was gonna say it really wants to specify each one individually. There we go. So as I said, you just re-signed him.
Yeah, and the fact that's the thing. I just not a huge fan. I think we gave him too much money. I mean, but you know, he's a guy. He loves to be here. He knows the system. The guy, obviously, the system loves him. So you know, let's go. Bobby Wagner, big name. Obviously, looking to see where he can land again.
That's the one I'm surprised that's still there. I am very surprised that he is still there.
He probably wants too much money.
I mean, I'm sure he wants a lot of money, but he's 32 though, so
yeah,
there's teams that are going to be questioning.
Well, isn't Zach Cunningham coming off an injury? Because I know he's been a big name, decent linebacker the last couple of years too.
I mean, and Kyle Vanoy, I mean, he's up there too. And like Dave just said, it's like, oh, when you're up there, it's like, how much are you really worth at that point? I don't know. I mean, Wagner, when the Rams pulled him in, it's like, was that like the similar system to what he was used to back when it was the Legion of Boom? I mean, not really.
I really
Again, you got to have the right. You have to have the right guys in the right system. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
I kind of hope the Browns would resign Anthony Walker, but I don't think that's going to happen. After that, he was coming off that injury. Because he's one of the youngest ones on the list.
Yeah. Miles Jack.
Which I thought that he was going to be a lot better than he's ended up being. I mean, he's kind of struggled, it seems. Like he hasn't been like that standout like we all expected him to be, or at least, you know, some of the pundits did.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside of that, there's not a whole lot left on that list. I mean, like I said, that's inside linebackers. I can flip it and go outside. Shabam.
Bud Dupree, but his age.
Right. Get out.
Well,
Get out.
I mean,
here.
guys that are still out there are out there for a reason.
Yeah.
Whether it's age, whether it's injury risk, or just flat out asking for a ton of money and people aren't willing to shell it out yet. We're rapidly approaching the point where signings are going to kind of die out because teams are suddenly going to now wait for the draft to see what slots they can fill at the draft, and then they'll revisit free agency. And
Right.
okay,
This is like the immediate round one.
yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking the
I've
same
actually
thing.
I've heard that too.
Back in Seattle.
I have heard that.
I know Bryce would be extremely ecstatic if that happened. Bryce actually, when I told Bryce, I said, "Hey, you lost a guy." He's like, "Now who?" It's like, sorry, you lost Wagner. He's like, "Well, this sucks." I was like, "Yeah."
Seattle's issue is right now they've got about 10 in cap space, which is fine, but you do have he won't be the last free agent that you sign, and you have to be sure that you have room to sign your draft picks.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's always
weren't
movement
they
you
also
can do.
cutting somebody out from the Denver trade? Well, no, they re-signed Locke. I mean, they weren't going to spend any other big money to turn around and do that. Like you said, there isn't much money left there, so it's like might as well just throw a couple bones at Locke and just say stick around. But I mean, yeah, I know you got the numbers. What else do you think that they could cut out to obtain a couple of more?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, at this point, cuts have been made. You're not going to see a whole lot of cuts from here. It's reaching out to guys that are willing to redo their deals. And some are, some aren't. So
Okay. It's time for bashing on my squad.
yay.
I know.
Sam Darnold.
I almost want to go off. I just want to jump off the San Francisco bridge. It's almost as bad as the Trey Lance draft pick.
I mean, literally, what else do I have to say about anything else? Do you want me to trash your team? Sam Darnold.
Yeah. I said, let's get it out. I'm with you. I'm like, why?
Hey.
What? Why?
It could be Andy Dalton.
Sam Darnold, why? Because they don't know if Purdy's going to be ready.
I don't think Purdy's going to be ready.
The question is when. Is he going to resume throwing in September? October? Later? That's the question. That's why Sam Darnold. Now that's why there's a quarterback. Now, why specifically Sam Darnold? Because the universe hates you, George.
Yes, it definitely does.
And the thing that scares me though is you already got Bosa on there. That defensive line's already stout. Now you go and add Javon Hargrave to it. Good luck running on these guys.
Yeah.
I was going to say they have definitely. Now they lost some defensive guys, but they reloaded like crazy.
Yes, they did. They reloaded quickly.
I mean, the questions that they have aren't on that side of the ball.
It's quarterback.
That's the biggest. That's by far the biggest.
I was going to say, and as far as the free agency, I don't know. I don't like the Sam Darnold ordeal. They had the opportunity. They could have scooped up Cooper Rush. They could have turned around and even went with Brissett temporarily.
Or even Bridgewater.
Even Heineke, for crying out loud.
Well, what about Huntley? He's still out there.
I don't see Huntley on the list. I thought Huntley still had one more year to go.
I thought he was a free agent this year.
He is not on the list.
I mean, I think I'd take Teddy Two Gloves over Sam Darnold.
He got the restricted free agency tender.
Okay, that's why then. So he was up until that point.
He was up until then. All right, I thought he was on his last year. I know that it gets really, really tricky back and forth. Is it sad that the only person I recognize is Sam Darnold? Yeah.
You don't know about that,
You've been
Ross?
you've been out of it for a while, Scott. He's been out of the loop for a while.
So
He's
as
a-
far as the
no,
Sam
Sam
Darnold, this probably is going to shed at least a little bit of light on why they went there. You're not going to necessarily like the answer, but you have just under 9 million in cap space right now. You were able to get Darnold for 1 year at a cap hit of about 3.9. Let's see. Brought up Heineke. Heineke's only 4.9 for a cap hit, but he's signed for 2 years at 14 million.
Right.
I don't think they wanted somebody for 2 years. Brissett, he only got a 1 year deal, but it was an 8 million. It was 8. So you weren't going to pay that.
Could have got Gardner.
No, shut your mouth. That's even worse.
You're out of your mind. I'd take Mississippi Mustache all day over Sam. Look what he did with Philly last year.
Yeah, he's becoming the new journeyman quarterback.
That's fine.
I mean, okay, so the guys that you legit could have gotten for the money that you paid at a 1 year deal,
PJ,
you could have Gardner, Walker.
PJ would have been better
He got a 2 year deal
at less the cost, at cheaper the cost too.
You're right. But like I said, they don't want anybody on a 2 year deal. They wanted
Yeah,
1
but
year.
you just lost a third, so you do want a third quarterback on the roster. And if you're already tied up with the rookie deals for both Lance and Purdy, so why not have a guy for a couple years? Might as well.
They didn't want to tie the money up. That's the only reasoning I can think of. But you could have had Gardner Minshew for 3.5. You could have had Drew Lock at 1 year for 4. You could have had Baker for 1 year at 4. But I mean, those are basically the guys that you're looking at.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen Baker going through.
Well, I would. You want to see me? I'll drive to Frisco and go smack.
I will go to Shane's and pick up the jersey for you myself.
No, because I'm going to go drive to San Francisco and I'm going to sit there and smack Jed York, throw him out a window, and turn around and look at John Lynch and go, "What the hell were you thinking, letting this guy do this?"
Well, you know what the one good thing that could maybe help Sam Darnold is he's back in where he started playing, back in California. That's where he went to college.
Woo!
Yay!
He went to the East Coast. He can't deal with the cold. That's why he sucked.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing he doesn't play a sport that's played in the winter.
No. Look, I'll take a blown out Matt Ryan.
Which he's still available.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Bridgewater, Rudolph, Flacco. Gabbert's been back and forth there, I think, twice.
You know who I think would have been a good fit for you guys? But you would have had a situation of a logjam of quarterbacks when everybody got healthy. But Heineke.
That's what I said. But Heineke, what did Dave say? It was a couple year deal at 14 mil. But yeah,
Mike White.
I went to Miami for 8 mil. I mean, Case Keenum went to Houston for 6.2. How much did you say Frisco had left?
8.8. You have 8.8, and you're probably not done signing guys, and you have your draft. So you're probably done for now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, what's the latest with Trey though?
He said Flacco's still alive. Yeah, he's still breathing.
He's like the Mick Jagger of football quarterbacks.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I don't remember.
Oh, what's Trey Lance's status? Like, is he going to be ready to go?
On the rolled ankle?
I believe he's ready to go. He's good. He's going to be the starter, at least at the beginning of the season.
I was going to say it was
Much to the chagrin of our fearless leader there.
well. I thought it was funny because on a couple of the Niners rumor things is Trey Lance is threatened by the 49ers signing Sam Darnold, and I was just like, oh god.
That's
I
like
can't.
saying, that's like saying Kyle Trask is threatened by the Buccaneers hiring, signing Baker.
The only people threatened by the signing of Sam Darnold are the ticket holders.
Yes.
And fantasy football people.
You raise my ticket prices for this?
I'm not threatened by Sam Darnold at all. He will be nowhere near any roster that I create.
Not near mine either.
Trey Lance 100% for OTAs. So
Nice.
yeah, he'll be fine. I'm not saying he'll be good. I'm saying he'll be fine.
Should have had Mac Jones. Could have had Mac Jones.
You actually brought up a team. We said Mike White, and he went to Miami. Can you bring up Miami? Because
Yeah.
they were a team that every signing I saw, I said, "Wow, that's a good fit."
Tell us how you really feel, Scott.
There.
I mean, Mike White is a great backup for Tua until you figure out whether he has his head straight or not. And if you can keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue it one bit.
See, Georgia's boy, they signed him too. Good old Barrios.
Hey,
I mean, you re-signed Gaskin, Mostert, Wilson. I mean, three-headed monster. You're fine. And when two of them get hurt, you still got one to go.
Yeah.
And you lost Jasecki, so
to the Patriots of all teams.
They're a team that has them in Houston. They have a laundry list of moves.
Yes.
A very big laundry list. The one thing I like this. I like the Mostert for a couple of years.
Cheap
at 5.6, real cheap.
Yep.
I like it. And the other 49er brethren, Wilson, right along with it. I mean, you got them off real cheap.
I mean, honestly, Mostert's got to be one of those guys that bang for your buck is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ain't going to give you a full season, but when he's out there, he's earning his money. Yes, Scott, that is.
Yep. I was going to say, and since the name Elliott got brought up, let's hit that elephant in the room. Where does Zeke go?
Who cares?
Does he go?
I don't necessarily.
Does he go?
I think he agrees to a lesser contract.
If you can pry his big ass away from the
where?
buffet.
I was going to
No, at Dallas. I think he stays. I think he stays there. I think that's his home. That's where he wants to be.
I got a feeling because Kansas City hasn't done squat really. I can see him being like something that Kansas City goes, and takes a flyer on him.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
With their other two running back, two-headed monster, I don't know.
I'm sorry. Are you thinking CEH is one of those heads?
No.
Okay.
McKinnon.
No. McKinnon and Pacheco.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I almost forgot about that CEH guy.
Right. So did
I've totally forgotten about him. Oops.
Well,
sorry.
Who do the Patriots have for running backs right now? Stevenson still? That's it?
I think it's just Stevenson because
Stevenson, and even though it's just Stevenson,
oh no, they got James Robinson. That's right.
Robinson. That's right. All right, so Robinson and Stevenson.
Yeah,
they traded off being healthy.
Stevenson was looking like he's a 3-down back. So, and Robinson, you just bring him in to spell him, and I think you are set. At least at that position, you are set.
And they've addressed a little bit of their offensive line too.
Good old Jabril.
And then you have the household names like Pierre Strong, J.J. Taylor, and Lynn Bowden, and Kevin Harris. Those are the other guys on the roster. Anyway,
Yeah.
you have Stevenson and Robinson.
I mean, look what they did with the offensive line, though. Riley Reeve, Ferentz.
Oh, there, and it's all 1 year, 2 year.
Yep.
That's a very small, littler deal. I don't think they. I was gonna say,
They're not done yet.
still sitting? Are they still sitting with a ton of draft picks again this year?
Yes. I think.
They have No, they only have 6.
They only have 6.
1,
Well,
2,
here's
3,
the
4,
thing.
5, 6.
They are also only sitting on $12 million in cap space. So they're close to done.
Get Aaron Rodgers, you're really going to be in the negative.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the funny thing is Green Bay. I know that they said they were looking at the second, wasn't it the second round pick for him?
I think that's what I heard.
I thought they said they were looking at the second round pick. It wasn't going to be a first, but they're kind of still hemming and hawing over it. And it's like, okay, I heard Coach talk about it on NFL radio, and he said flat out, you said 90% you were retiring. Well, guess what? That means you were totally out of it. And then when you came out of your social media darkness, off of your vacation of
His resurrection.
It's his whole comments were, well, I wanted to see where things stood, and we're, kind of looking at the market and where everything was. And it's just like, no, you just wanted to see if somebody was half interested. You have a team that's half interested. But again, it's only half interested. If I'm Zach Wilson right now, I'm going, oh, did you see all the wide receivers and the running backs and everything else you've given me right now?
And I'll still suck.
You have a team.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's wholly interested. I think the Jets are wholly interested. They're just trying to get away with not paying full price for someone that is not worth full price. Honestly, going from last year to this year, last year, Green Bay was sitting there. They're sitting there going like, oh my God, we're going to have to pay this guy. And the Jets are now sitting here going, oh my God, we need to pay for this guy or we're starting Zach Wilson again. I mean, who's your other option?
If the deal does, yeah, but like you just said, they don't. What money are you going to? I mean, you got to really work out a lot that Green Bay is going to have to eat.
No, the Jets will find a way. They will rework contracts. They will make it work. I mean, I think they've been sitting there doing that this entire time. There is no other reason for them to sign Alan Lazard to a 4-year, $44 million contract other than to give Mr. Rodgers what he wants. Why else would you make that signing? This team did not need that.
No.
This is the NFL, though, and the whole problem is that well, that would explain why the stupid internet was acting stupid.
Oh, finally figured it out, did you?
No, Kelly just handed me a phone thing, and it's like it doesn't like something. Oh, no, because they changed the router, remember? It's on the router. The black round one.
When did they do that?
What? A couple months ago?
Yeah, but I've been watching Spectrum since then.
Oh. Well, then give me a minute and I'll get it. I don't know it off the top of my head. I always have to look at it. But no, like I said, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a lot. Green Bay is going to have to eat a lot, and then the Jets I mean, okay, you're going to give up draft pick. It's like, okay, what? You're going to give up your first and your second for him? For a guy who's only going to play maybe 2 years? And that's a big maybe.
Green Bay wants to make sure they get value back for him. And it doesn't have to be great value, but they're going to get maximum value for him because they paid out maximum value to keep him last year. And I get where they're coming from.
Right.
It's the Jets have put themselves now in a position where they're kind of screwed because everybody knows they don't want to start Zach Wilson again. And the other guy, and I'm just calling him the other guy because Chris Streveler,
that's their backup.
Sure, that's the only other guy on the roster.
Oof.
And we've seen the list of free agent quarterbacks. It has been not quite picked clean, but you're not going to get anything off of there that is going to win you your division.
No. Not when you got Buffalo in your division and Miami.
Sure, you could roll Teddy B out there and he'll do okay. For how long?
Right.
But I mean, yeah, Wilson's getting a lot of money. He's actually getting like 9 million, 9.5, but he's going to cost you like 20 to cut him. So
yeah,
he ain't going anywhere. They have put themselves in a position now where they almost have to make this deal, and it's going to cost them one of the few draft picks that they have,
or one of the ones that they covet.
Yeah, it's not going to be just a walk away deal.
This is how trades work in the NFL. You got to give up something to get something.
And I think Green Bay is 100% okay at this point with just sitting on Rodgers. You can just sit there and we're just going to let Love play and hope he plays well enough that we don't have to make a change.
Yeah. So how long before Jordan Love ends up in New York, since that seems to be the trajectory for the Packers quarterbacks?
Yes, but you'll notice that they seem to play in Green Bay for like a decade and a half before that.
Yeah. So he's got a long while yet.
Yes, he's got a little bit.
I'm actually like, I'm rooting for the kid just because he came out so highly coveted, and but he's with injuries and stuff. Like I'm rooting for the kid to succeed.
I mean, if he was in anybody else's division, I would be rooting for him to succeed.
You have an argument there. I don't.
Right. I want him to do okay. I have nothing against this kid. I have everything in the world against Aaron Rodgers. I have nothing against this kid.
Well, just two times a year, you don't give a shit what he does.
There you go. I mean, he's just been he's been sitting there for 4 years now?
Give or take. It seems like it's longer than that, the way it's played out.
Yeah, I give the kid his chance. I mean, if you sign him to the deal, and you haven't cut him, so obviously you feel he's okay, give him a chance. I mean, when this whole started, they flat out said it's his time.
Yeah.
If you feel it's his time, then you feel he is good enough to take over this franchise. Sure, let's go. Let's
you drafted him for, right?
Exactly. Next year they have a club option for $20 million. Whew.
So you got to play this kid.
You need to play him this year just to see what you have. Which, to be fair, if he starts balling out, $20 million is a bargain.
Right. Or there's the other side of the spectrum.
Or there's the other side. Wow. Yeah, this is his fourth year. He's going into his fourth year. Drafted 26th overall out of Utah State in 2020. Like I said, I have nothing against the kid other than the fact that he plays for the Packers.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's a long
we have a whole bunch of Love rookie cards somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, I do. I have a ton. Just like I have Jacob Eason and Easton Stick. Who?
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, This is where either all the love rookie cards are going to blow up, like Patrick Mahomes in his second year,
Or we're going to be
Torn
burning them
up.
in a
or
fire.
we're going to be throwing them into their bonfires.
Or we could go old school and put them in the old, bike spokes, so you get a little bit of that muffler sound.
Brrr.
Yeah.
That'd be tons of fun.
That's why I gave up on cards. It's so hit and miss. But I was trying to play. I wanted to get in some last year just because of all the Aiden rookies. But thanks to Chipper, I have, a mini Lions and a mini Michigan helmet signed by Aiden. I just got to get the full size to match.
Imagine all those years of Favre and Rodgers and only 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
It's sad.
Imagine being a Bills fan, 4 straight years and you couldn't win one. And the only reason I know that is because I actually that was the year I was rooting for the Bills because my cousin was on 2 of those teams. He's got the AFC Championship rings, but that's it.
Well, who's your cousin?
Joe Stasiak. Went to Midview, All-American at Ohio State.
Huh.
And then he played he was with Indy when they lost in the 95 championship game in 3 Rivers. And you know who was the quarterback of the Colts that time? Number 4, good old Jimmy, khaki pants himself.
Oops.
Hey, let me see if I can find the picture for you. I'll send it in the chat. I know I got them. So, I mean, as of right now, when you guys, with all the moves that have been made, who you think's been who's had the best moves? The Dolphins, probably.
I mean, they're definitely up there. I mean, for what Chicago's done, obviously they had the most money, and they still have the most money. They have like 44 to go still. I mean, they addressed a lot of needs, except the glaring one, which I just don't understand. I do kind of understand you don't want to hit free agency hard for your O-line because then you spend a ton of money on guys that are your O-line guys.
Right.
But you have to do something about it. You can't just let it go.
Yeah, because you got to protect your quarterback. You got to have a quarterback.
Who do you think?
It's a good answer. That's a good
I mean, I don't disagree.
They took a weakness of the franchise and turned it into a strength, hopefully. I mean, it sure looks that way. So they've done a lot.
Yeah, that's in my house. I had to open the window because I got a little hot. It's like I'm going with this damn cold I got. It's one of those 1 minute you're hot, then you're freezing, then it's like you go back and forth. I can't find that happy medium.
I was going to say, so for the worst, I was breezing through. I think the worst so far is the Ravens.
Done nothing.
Yeah, they haven't really done much, have they?
No, they used the tag on Lamar. I mean, and you re-signed Justice Hill.
To be fair, they
like-
only have $7.5 million in space. So it's not like they were gonna tear things up.
Set the world on fire.
No, they were not going to do that.
I don't
Meanwhile,
think
you
they've
still got-
gotten better.
No, I mean, I don't see anything on there that shows that they've gotten better. They're not going to get better except probably through the draft. So we will see what that brings.
Oh, they only have 5. They only have 5 picks.
No, yeah,
They
I'm
didn't
not saying it's
receive
going to get
any compensatory picks. Easy for me to say 3 times fast.
Right?
So they've only got 5, and it says the fewest since 99.
Yeah, they're I hate to say it, but they're struggling. And to be honest, if they don't re-sign Lamar, what do they have on that roster?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, like I said, non-exclusive franchise tag. I mean, so it is what it is. But I was talking with Dave Toner, one of our faithful followers and listeners and watchers. He's a big Steelers guy, and he asked me, he says, well, where do you think Pittsburgh falls in for the division? It's pretty simple. If Cincinnati doesn't screw up anything, it's Cincinnati. Baltimore's aged out, and I think they'll be sitting. It's going to be Cincinnati on top, and everybody else trying to fight for scraps and see what you get.
Yeah, more than likely.
You know, and good luck between Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland.
Yeah.
You got nothing but you're going to be fighting and kicking and screaming for scraps.
Falcons did make some interesting moves, but just to bring it down to earth a little bit, the Falcons were working almost from nothing. So they did make some interesting moves, but
Another one with a very
I don't know how
large
far it's
laundry.
going to get them. Really, I mean, number one, they're banking on Heineke being the guy. And yes, it's only a 2-year deal, but what are you going to roll with? Was it Ritter? I don't know where this team goes from here. This will definitely be a telling year. It's a lot of guys that were signed. They had a lot of holes to fill. I don't know that they filled them.
Found them.
Yes, you did. Damn, those are pretty.
Yeah, but look how, I mean, think about it. That's back in the 90s. How much gaudier they look nowadays with all the diamonds and stuff in them.
Let me bring it up. Bam. And 4. Oh,
1990.
15 and 4.
91.
Those are pretty cool.
So I got proof. I'm not lying about it.
No, wasn't ever going to turn around and disgrunt it or challenge it. Nope, that's pretty cool.
Crap, it's already quarter after.
That Atlanta group, again, like I said, that is a big laundry list. Defensively, it's like, oh, here's a fat $35 million deal.
Jesse Bates is a big one.
1 million. Yeah. They definitely worked on the defensive side of things.
They did. They threw some big numbers at people, so they better make sure that they hit.
Are we under the assumption that we think Heineke is going to be the starter?
I don't know. I legit don't know. And the problem is when you've got so many holes, yes, you're obviously trying to plug your starter positions and you were spending big money to do it, but you damn well better hope you leave room for the depth guys because not all those starters make it through the whole year.
Wasn't it Onyemata? That was the one from the Giants, right?
I think so.
That's what I thought.
I'm going to say, I think it is.
And then Jonnu was the one that was from the Patriots, or no? The tight end? Okay.
What's he with?
No, Ncaa was the Saints.
Oh, Saints. Okay.
Yeah. Right in the division.
And Jonnu Smith before the Patriots, wasn't he with Tennessee?
Yes. He's been all over. He's been another one of those
Yeah.
journeymen.
He's a journeyman. Yeah.
He's bounced around.
Patriots, Titans. He's been around. Is drafted by the Titans and then joined the Patriots.
I thought he was more than that, but okay.
Scott commenting on the rings. Wow, that was 33 years ago. Yes, we're old. That makes even you, Sanders. We are old.
I was literally 7 years old when he was in the Super Bowl.
Not me. I was older.
But not by much, right?
Not by much, but I was older.
I was gonna say 90. I was in high school.
So was I.
I was
So
just
was I.
barely in high school.
My sophomore year. That was my sophomore year.
Getting old sucks, doesn't it, boys?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I know I wanted to try to tackle into the baseball, but we have definitely run out of that time by a large margin. So
It's bedtime.
we will
Yep,
save
we
baseball
overshot the mark.
we'll save baseball for a little bit longer. We'll hold them off just a little bit more. We'll let the WBC finish out first, and then we'll revisit everybody's projections, lineups, and whatnot, and go over those.
I have a hunch we're gonna have lots of time to talk about baseball.
You think? Maybe. I mean, hockey hasn't really established themselves for playoff stuff just yet. So,
No. Not yet.
there's only 2 more weeks left for basketball. So hockey's not going to be too far behind.
Right.
Thanks, Sam. Again, you guys can catch Sam 609 tomorrow night live on Facebook, just like us. Sam, go ahead and throw a plug out, dude. Go for it. I'll post it up.
Yeah, I was going to have George remind me so I can watch it tomorrow because I'll forget once I get home from work.
Yeah, 609 Sports Talk. They're on a couple of days a week. So definitely turn around and catch up with Sam and his whole crew. He's got a couple of folks. And very entertaining. Very entertaining. I happened to catch him through because we're also shared on the podcast groupings on Facebook. And these guys happened to pop up on the news feed, and I definitely tuned in. Thought it was absolutely awesome. So, yes. And eventually, I have turned around and sent out the open invite to have Sam join us as well. On an
Anytime.
Yep. Told him, I said, absolutely anytime. So, for Star, Zolt, myself, Bruiser as well.
Still rebooting his computer.
Still
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to crack the cheat codes for the NASCAR Fantasy League.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
We'll catch y'all on the flip side.